started to analyze following that Sunday meeting, we started to analyze all of the exchange transactions and started researching immediately how do we mitigate damages on exchange transactions. Our view was the exchange transaction needed to go forward as soon as possible. We need to authorize them in blanket because it was critical that we not have damages accrued, because those damages are difficult to measure, as you know. You guys are experts in this. They're difficult to measure, and it's very possible that those damages could be a tax, and normally you present value it back at some point in time. It's hard to determine exactly when, because somebody could say, look, I was going to die and get a stepped-up basis, and I was never going to have to pay the tax. Or, you know, I mean, it's a complicated matter. So our view was, let's avoid the damages however we can. So we started on all the mitigation strategies, and then we were told, stop. Don't do that anymore. And we said, okay, why? Well, because we, Terry and the law firm, will handle that. Okay? That's what we understood we were supposed to be doing. So we said, fine. Okay, we'll stop. And then we tried to get involved a little bit again, and we were told, send all of the files that we had on exchanges to Sussman Shank. And we did. Okay? So we no longer had the file. So we couldn't do anything. We then went with the creditors committee. I'm just going to take the mitigation first, and then we take the real estate. We then met with the creditors committee. And we were instructed to, initially, we were going to all go meet with the creditors committee. We wanted to have an open meeting with them and present them the information that you would present to us and that we had supplemented. And we were told we couldn't present that information to the creditors. Okay? So we didn't. And
did you understand why?
Do I understand why? I understand what I was told, yes.
Well, you understand why they didn't want you to present it?
It's a confidential communication. The creditors committee has to keep it confidential. They had ultimately signed a confidentiality agreement. We were sent back. So we met with the creditors committee at the request of Terry. We met with the creditors committee, and we didn't do any end run. We were told to go meet with the creditors committee and work out an agreement with them. Okay? We then did that. We had hours of meetings, and then we had phone calls, and on and on and on and on. Getting back,
excuse me, Kevin, let me correct you right there. I never instructed you specifically to go to the creditors committee.
Well, that's what we were told, is that you had instructed us. We were supposed to go meet with the creditors and
Did I say that to you? Did I say that to you?
I don't know if you said it to me or Sussman said it to me.
Well, who the hell said it to you? That's what I'm asking.
Well, Terry, we go back and look through the emails and figure it out. It's important to know if it was Sussman who said it to us.
Well, don't say that I'm saying things if I did not personally say them to you. Please.
Okay, I'm assuming if we're told by Sussman that you said it, that it was said, but I don't know.
Well, I'd like to know too.
Yeah, that would be probably fair.
Okay.
I know you don't think it's important, but maybe it's important to us.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So we went to the creditors and spent those hours. At the very first meeting that we had with the creditors, they said, we're very concerned about mitigation. We said, we completely agree. The mitigation damages are stacking up. That's to everybody's disadvantage. And we said, something needs to be done. And they said, well, we've got some ideas. So they kind of brought some of their ideas. Some of them were kind of off the wall, and some of them showed some creativity. But as you would expect. And so they said, please go and see what you can research and what you can do. So we went back and focused on how to mitigate. By the next day, we came up with a strategy that we thought worked. And we went back to the creditors and to Sussman and said, here's our idea. Here's how we think that these damages could be mitigated. And they said, okay, we want to have our 1031 attorneys and both the creditors and Sussman talk about it, right? And so we said, but let's do it. Let's not just wait. And they said, okay, we'll discuss it. Then we were told that it was going to be handled by Sussman and the creditors committee. Said, okay, but you guys have a melting ice cube here. You need to do something about it. And today, we sit where we are, where we've only been handling certain reverse exchanges on an individual basis, and no blanket order. And damages are stacking up in the millions of dollars. Now, they could be present value back, and we can argue that they're less, but somebody could argue that they're stacking up in the millions of dollars. I mean, it's clearly not our view. We had literally on the second day we were drawn up mitigation strategy. And we think that it's crucial that these damages be mitigated. I talked again to Sussman and I said, gotta have a blanket order. And they said, we're gonna work on it right away. So I'm expecting, I hope to have one of our people talk to Sussman and try to get a blanket order going right away, specifically for the forward exchanges too.
Lane, how long have I been talking to you about a blanket order?
Since right when we got here. But once you figured out what the reverse, we've been harping on this issue for 6 weeks now, to no avail. You get anything over assessment, it just dies. Period. Nothing gets done. Period. You get a bunch of explanations about how bankruptcy is complicated and Three Sisters isn't under the jurisdiction and blah, blah, blah. And it's just much ado about nothing. Well, and like you said, damages are stacking up, and for no effing reason whatsoever. None.
Well,
unless the creditors committee is like off in left field and thinks that they should get these properties.
no, they want damages mitigated when we did it. So
can anybody else have any questions? Because one thing I really want to get to is what exactly is the plan.
I just want to ask you, why did you choose not to communicate with us since early January?
because we weren't in the position to communicate with you. That was our what we were doing was to be responsive to what we were asked to do specifically by Terry and by Sussman. And we didn't even contemplate that we were supposed to come back and talk to you. We thought we were, again, we had 2 jobs. That's what we thought our 2 jobs were. And we were embarked on both those jobs.
So how much time have you spent with the creditors?
I don't know, Terry. How many hours? I don't know.
Because I've gotten communication back through the creditors committee regarding you guys' work, rather than getting it directly from you. I have a problem with that.
Terry, if you felt that there wasn't communication, all you had to do was stop.